Welcome to the Directing Animation Livecast with Scott Wiser. Just 1 week before episode 23, when I unleashed 10 feature film pitches into the world, I partnered with Spacestation Animation as a director on exciting original projects. This will open up even more opportunities on this show to explore the art of directing animation and the pursuit of telling deeply meaningful stories. Speaking of Space Station Animation, I have my good friend Shonduras, or Sean McBride, in the studio with me today. Welcome, Sean.
That intro was amazing. I'm excited to be here, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah, if you don't know Shonduras, or if you do know Shonduras, you're probably more likely to know him as a Snapchat celebrity or YouTube celebrity. Doodle Master. Yeah, he's great at growing social media audiences. At the same time, the thing that has inspired me most about you, Sean, is Space Station. This great company you built with over 100 people in it. It actually has more than 8, 9, 10 companies now in it.
Somewhere around there,
It's just an inspiring, wonderful thing. So
yeah, I agree, man. I'm happy to be here. I've maybe only done a handful of podcasts ever, and I've never been able to talk about the animation studio and the process of building that. It's been over the past about year and a half, and we've just been heads down building it, and yeah, this is my first time to just be able to express the journey, so I'm excited to be here. Let's jump in.
Oh yeah, I'm totally ready for that. And speaking of the channel, I want to show you this clip first before we talk about the first question, just so you can kind of get an idea of the tone of our first episode. The episode's had over 5 million views and a wonderful, awesome NFT drop that has gone along with it called Quarter Machine.
Yeah.
And let's roll that clip.
Rolling.
Now I unlocked the door. Let's go grab my wings.
What? The fairy escaped? I'm coming!
No!
How'd you let her escape? Don't let her get her wings! Oh, you're letting her get away!
I got my wings back!
Root beer bomb!
Miss me, and I got your treasure!
Arr! Hey! Root beer bomb!
Oh, I love that clip.
Yeah, the cool thing about watching that clip is there are tons of different animators. There's tons of different talent
Yeah,
that I see.
Yeah.
And you were on this project for, I've only been at Space Station for 4 months. It's felt like a year at least.
Really,
because
honestly,
things move so
4
fast.
months, we've accomplished so much.
Yeah, and you've been on this for more than a year.
Yep.
And so you probably looked at all those pieces and you could see like the development of Sean and then the development of Pirate Island, and there are all these different meetings you probably had running through your head, and yeah, it's quite the accomplishment.
We did it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of this one, and I'm proud to be on this podcast, dude. Like this setup, like that. You just played the video and all these microphones. This is everything you do right, Scott. That's what I like about you, man.
That's what I like about you, man.
Hey.
Yeah, the other interesting difference between us, if we want to talk a couple of differences, which I love the dynamic. I've been spending years like working really slowly and steady on these feature films, right?
Yeah.
And I put all my heart and soul into it and refine it and refine it and refine it. And then I go back to my theater days with you, where you just jump up and you improvise.
Yeah.
And you're just like a master improviser.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I have noticed there is a bit of refinement that goes into when you build Space Station, and as you're building the overall A for Adley brand. I'd love to have a conversation of your thoughts of improvisation versus polishing and doing things right in the slow and steady way of building something really big and amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really important to know a direction and have a vision for what you want. Yeah. And then as you're moving towards that, to just tell the story. Whether you're building a company or sharing a video or creating a piece of content, like there's a story to be told to the consumer who's watching it, right? Yeah. They need to feel something or like feel motivation or understand what you're trying to portray, right? So I figure out what that overlaying story is, even if it's just a fun, I do family vlogs on YouTube, right? So go have fun adventures with my family. We call them the best days ever. And every day we try and film it. Not every day. I did do like 800 best days ever in a row. Yeah. You know that? 800 days filming every single day without it. Wow, that was wild. Not gonna do that again.
What a ride!
It was a lot of fun, but it was heavy.
Hard work.
So yeah, now a couple times a week we'll have a best day ever. We'll film it, go to the dinosaur park, whatever. And I do build out a storyline because I have almost 3 sequences when I film a vlog, and most people probably don't know this. They think I just grab a camera and go have fun, right? But I usually try and have one setting or moment, and then another setting or moment, and then a final setting or moment, right? So it's in the morning getting ready, cereal, fun, and then dinosaur park, and then, in the evening we're going to make a fort or whatever we're going to do. And in my head, I map it out. So there's a storyline. It's like, in the morning we're going to talk about how Navy's walking now. And we show her walking, and then we're going to go walk around the dinosaur park, right? And then in the evening, we're going to build that fort. And whatever happens while we're doing that, that's just improv. The kids run around and have fun, and whatever happens, right?
Yeah.
But I know that the story I'm trying to tell today is that Navy's walking, and we're going to go walk around the dinosaur park to celebrate. So I kind of have like a baseline. It's like, whose line is it anyway? But I just do it with my kids, right?
Well, you've got the 3-act structure in there.
Yeah,
if you have
exactly.
3 sections,
See, with the 3-act structure, I didn't even know it was called that. I just do it because it seems like it makes sense. I never learned this stuff in books. I just started doing it.
Yeah, you tell stories, you engage with your audience,
Yep.
you see how the audience receives it, and then you adapt to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is very improvisational. It's just awesome.
The cartoons that we've made together, those are based off improvs. Like the original videos that we created on YouTube, those were just playing, having fun. Pirate Island's a real place here in Utah where we can go and run around with the kids, and we have a pirate ship there and stuff.
Awesome.
So that was just us running around having fun, actually throwing root beer bombs and playing, and just whatever happens.
Yeah.
And now we're able to take that exact same story and audio and us playing and reimagine it visually through animation, which is what you and the team are doing.
Yeah.
And so I love it because it's very authentic to who our family is, and the playing and the squeals and laughter from Adley are just genuine because we're actually having fun, right?
Yeah.
And yes, we had a skeleton of okay, I'm gonna be a pirate dad, she's gonna be a fairy, she's gonna steal the treasure, we'll go back and forth, and that's kind of the base storyline. But from there, it's improv and just having fun.
Yeah. And the cool thing that also happens in between animation is Nick Russo, right?
Yeah.
So Nick and Colby, they go in and they edit that thing.
Yeah.
And they really polish up that story you were trying to tell and make sure that you dialed in everything right?
Yeah.
And then we do that again.
Yep.
For our episode.
I think it's really important to have a solid team when you're creating projects, especially in my scenario where I'm working with my family and kids and whatnot.
Yeah.
If I was under the pressure of filming and editing and preparing and doing all this different stuff, I think it would become inconvenient or not fun to film as many videos as we do.
Okay.
But because I have an amazing team who, Jenny and me and the kids come up with the fun ideas, and we make a list, and we'll just choose an idea off the list and go have fun one day, right? And then we have a team who films it and then edits it and gets it all ready, and then I'll review the edits before they go live, so it tells the story that I want, and it's just done the way that I feel I want to be portrayed with my family, right?
Yeah.
And then it goes live, so it's really no stress on my plate and on my family's plate. We just go have the fun, but other people are preparing and editing and doing all that. And then same with animation. Then you guys take it from there and the team runs with it, and my family gets to see what you've created and we give feedback on it, but it just keeps moving. So it's a fun way for us to create a lot of good opportunities and create these videos for our community to watch without overloading or stressing out the family.
Yeah. Well, in my first couple weeks at Space Station, I was just watching you, and I thought, how in the world does this guy have all this energy to do all this stuff?
Cocaine. I'm just kidding. I made that up.
That's the secret. You all know now. No, you do not do cocaine.
No, never.
Healthy guy.
But I do need more sleep, but honestly, I think it's that I actually do enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
I do enjoy building Space Station. I'm almost, forced to go have fun with my family multiple times a week, which I think a normal family structure is you go have fun sometimes on the weekends or whenever there's a school break or whatever. But I have the benefit of saying we're gonna go to the dinosaur park or whatever it is multiple times this week. We're gonna go do 3 fun things as a family this week. And man, I'm really grateful for that because not everyone can take half a day off work to go have fun and still call it work.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm really
yeah.
blessed for that.
Well, I mean, that's always a difficulty that I go through as well with having a family and also having the career goals and all of that and trying to balance the two. And I just think it's brilliant how you've been able to just structure that into your workday.
Yeah, it is kind of wild. The work-family balance isn't a balance. It's everything. Work and family. That's all I do.
Well, and something else I observed those first 2 weeks that I've learned over time, all that energy I was seeing wasn't just your energy. Mm-hmm. It was also the energy of all the people you put in place at the space station who are doing work.
You know what? That's so accurate.
Oh, yeah.
Well said. When I come into the space station, I just see people hey, what's up? I saw this. You see this? New SSG this. Oh, have you seen the new merch? I see it. I'm just excited. That place is just an atom bomb of energy. I love it.
It is an atom bomb of energy. I like that expression. Absolutely. And it was fun one day when I came downstairs and you mentioned how you come up with these ideas for what you're going to do for the different episodes. Yep. And I walked down the stairs and there was Nick setting up a Thomas the Train
Yep.
engine set, right?
Yep.
And I'm like, what are you up to? And he's like, this is one of the next videos. And he was
Yep.
setting that up, So even
Yeah.
he gets to play a little bit at work as well.
It's true. And again, that's the balance so that we can accomplish so much and not like get too spread thin. It's all about having a good team. At the space station, we call them our crew, our space station crew. And we have probably over, 40 to 60 people there on an average day. And then we have people off location as well. And I think over 100 crew members in our Slack now. And it's just, we moving, baby.
I checked, it was 120 last time I checked.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go us.
So, yeah, go us. Also, you cultivate this sense of positivity that I've rarely seen. Even I've worked with a lot of amazing bosses, but there was one day where you had said something one day, and it kind of bothered me, but not too bad. But you came and corrected it the next day. Yeah. And you're always going around and trying to lift everything up and make it more positive. Yeah. What is your approach to that? Can you explain more about that?
Well, I mean, you related me to a boss, and I'm not a boss at all. I just work like with people, like a lot of partners, right? So
and I think of you as a partner as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's one part. Is like no one feels like they're going to work and they need to impress their boss. It's like we're just all building a space station together, and when they see me, I think naturally maybe some people are a little nervous to talk to me because like I'm in charge or whatever, but really like everyone's just kind of friendly and we just kind of jam. And I think that's the approach that works is as long as everyone knows that they're part of the team and we're just building this together, that like it's more fun and everyone can be more positive versus like the pressure of performing and impressing people. Like, yeah, there's a pressure because we have a lot going on and we expect like people to work really hard and just give their all and care a lot. I think that's the word at the space station is care. Like we expect people to care a ton. Yeah. But it's easy to care when you enjoy what you're doing and you feel appreciated and you don't feel like you have a boss. You just have a guy who's checking in on you and, you have a team of people that are all rooting for you. And so, I don't know. I've intentionally not really structured, hierarchies, all this different stuff, just so people can jam together. But as it's scaled and we receive more opportunity and there's more different businesses and verticals within the space station, we need to organize and structure a bit. So it's been this balance and learning process of structuring and giving accountability without creating managers and bosses and hierarchies, and I think we've done a really good job, but as we continue to grow and scale, I'll have to keep learning how to keep doing
how
that.
Do you do that? Yeah,
we're doing a solid mediocre, like 8.5 out of 10 right now.
But most of the time it feels like 10 out of 10 for sure. And part of that is the positivity. Do you think that caring is part of that engine that drives you to generate positivity into the company and in your life and interactions?
If you care about people and they care about what they're doing and everyone cares about their future and they feel vested in their future, right? Like no one looks at this as just like a stepping stone to their next kind of thing. It's like everyone believes in what we're doing and they're like, they want to give it their all and turn this into something, and they realize that they have autonomy to like mold the future of their career and what they're building, right? Because we're building everything from an animation studio to we do influencer marketing to I do YouTube videos. We have an esports organization, Space Station Gaming. We do Space Station Investments. We have Space Station CPG, which works in the food, health, and wellness category. Like we have all these different Space Station entities and they're all working together, and that's kind of like the magic, the symbiotic ecosystem. Space Station.
The circle of life.
That's it.
Yeah. So I have a buddy that I talk to a lot, and Scott Thorpe.
What's up, Scott?
Hey. Just a wonderful, wonderful brain. He's developed blockchain, and he's worked in the first days of
blockchain.
Facebook. He was actually the inspiration behind Linguini's hair in Ratatouille. Just an interesting, quiet guy who's just brilliant. And, we've had lots of conversations about space station, about life, and that sort of thing. He said something really cool one day. Yeah. He's like, Shonduras sounds like this guy that can just poke at life and get it to do things and then craft it so it can be what he wants it to be. Yeah. I'd love to talk more about that process. Like, how do you go about that?
Oh, man. I served a mission for my church in Honduras for 2 years, and that really gave me a lot of perspective. It helped me grow up and just realize how much I care about people and whatnot. And while I was there, thing number one, I met my business partner, Sean Holiday. So the space
Without
station,
knowing he'd be your business partner.
Yeah, exactly. We just met each other down there. We're both working hard to help people. And we became really good friends. And then when we got home, I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but when we got home, he started a company and really understood business. I started being a creator, got famous on Snapchat, and we brought that together to build the space station. So thing number one, Honduras helped me find my business partner and just kind of ride or die best friend, Sean Holiday. And then secondly, it taught me lots of other things. And there's this story that they'd always tell about like how the frog became the king of the rainforest. And I was like, what? And they'd tell it to me. And they tell it to me in Spanish. At first, I didn't really understand it that well. And then as I learned more and more Spanish, I learned the real meaning of the story and how cool it was. Quick version of the story is that, they were going to name a new king of the jungle. And so they had this tournament, and they're like, first animal to get to the top of the mountain or this jungle peak is going to be the new king. And so all the animals lined up one day, and they all started running, going to the top. And they got to like a river, and half the animals were like, well, I can't swim. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, if you, fox, you can't swim or whatever. And then they get to like a big cliff, and then some are able to hop down the cliff or fly down the cliff or whatever. And then some smaller people are like, I can't do the cliff, right? And so every time the frog just kept going, and like there's a swamp, and then some people can't get through the swamp. The bear gets stuck in the swamp, and the frog just keeps going. He gets to this really hard part where they're scaling. The mountain goats are going up to the very top peak, and everyone's like, you can't do that, dude. You're just a frog. And the frog just keeps going and whatnot. Anyways, point of the story is the frog gets to the top, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, this little frog, out of all the things in the jungle, the beasts and the giant, whatever, the frog is the one who got to the top. And like, how'd you do it? And the animals go talk to him. How'd you do it? And he doesn't say anything. And they're like, well, how'd you do it? And he's just like, doesn't say anything. And then they found out the frog was deaf. And so that's how the frog became the king of the jungle, because he's deaf and he couldn't hear everyone say like, you can't do that, or that's hard, or that's going to be too big, or whatnot. And became the king of the jungle for it. Now, some crazy Honduras story that just impacted me. But I think that's what you're talking about with poking and prodding a little bit, is like, if I really understood how complicated it was to animate and build an animation studio and the whole pipeline and everything that we've created, I probably would have been really hesitant to start an animation studio under the space station. Yeah. But because I'm a little bit deaf to that, I guess you could say, and I just kind of poked at it, and I was like, you know what? I love sharing stories. I love social media. I love building communities, and my community would really benefit from seeing cartoons from our family. It started with my daughter Adley, who does the YouTube videos. Yeah. So it's like, well, I feel bad for our audience who's used to us doing 3 videos a week or whatnot. I wonder if there's a way we could still share fun videos with our audience, but still be occupied with school and whatnot. And so it was the idea of animating current adventures and creating new videos for them. And so that's really where the idea started. Yeah. But again, being a deaf frog, I had no idea how hard that would be. And I just started down the journey. And then through having amazing people around me, Jordan at the Space Station, Jordan, Holiday, and the early members of the team, Nick and Kate, our storyboard artist, Eli, who proved out the first model for us. We were just able to start moving down the road and getting close. And then that's when I realized, this is way harder than I thought. And that's where I had to look for some serious talent. And that's where I found more team and guys like Nathan Riddle from Wildworks and you. And man, Scott, when you joined the team, it really all came together. You and Nate kind of joined in that same little period. And from that moment on, it was like we were pulling back the slingshot for months and months. And then as soon as you and Nate joined, it was just...
Yeah, it was 1 minute, 20 seconds of the episode to the full episode. That's how much we got done in a month with the team and new animators and
But across the board, whether it's the same thing with esports, right? Really looking at esports, it's deep and it's we were very early to it and it's a little Wild West, but kind of being a deaf frog, we didn't even know what we were getting into and we were able to build something. And then same with YouTube. I think a lot of people don't start YouTube because they're like, I'm late, or, there's already so many views, or what if I don't get views or whatnot, and they're worried. But if you're just deaf to what other people think or what the world tells you is difficult, then you can accomplish a lot. And so I think the space station is just full of a bunch of deaf frogs in astronaut suits. That's what I think. Yeah.
Have you done any work to create this filter? Because this goes back to the positivity
question
as well.
No work. It's just kind of out of me not researching and moving really fast. Animation, of course I could do that. Dude, I can kick flip an 8-star on my skateboard. I can build an animation studio. So yeah.
And when you hear somebody to discourage you, what do you do with that?
I don't hear people discourage me. I'm so in this bubble of awesomeness that because awesome. Seriously, I spend time with my family and have fun, and then I go to the space station and feel that atom bomb energy and hustle, and then I interact with my neighbors or see people at church a little bit, but I don't know, I just don't get that much negativity, so I just don't even have time. I'm full deaf frog mode right now. I guess on social media there are comments, and sometimes there's comments that people like to judge and whatnot. I've just been on social media long enough that I've learned that you just can't pay attention to those, and you always hear that, but it's your own challenge of not paying attention to it, right? You can let something bother you or not bother you, and that's kind of your choice. So internet comments don't really bother me, and luckily our audience is just so amazing. It's mostly families that really appreciate what we're doing. There's very few, if any, negative comments ever, except for esports. Esports is a bit gnarly.
Is it a bit gnarly?
Trolls. Why all those trolls like esports?
Yeah. Well, the other thing I wasn't expecting at all when I came on board, right, was the NFT space.
Oh yeah,
quarter
me
of a
either.
sheet
I
of
didn't.
space.
Yeah, that's just been this year. Wow.
And I think watching how that unfolded is very, and I hope I can say some of the things. If not, you can stop me.
No, go for it.
But
if I start choking you, that's your cue to like stop talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just know that it's a very, it's still in the works, right? We're still rolling things out. But with that, it was interesting because I had no anticipation of the NFTs. I had thought about it myself on my own and kind of explored it a little bit, but I knew there was so much more to it that I just didn't know about. So I was
tons.
like, I'll wait, right?
Yeah.
So we had no idea we were going to do NFTs, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like 1 month, 2 months, almost. We just were finishing the first episode, I think.
Yeah.
Was
on the back end, on the space station side, we had been working on an NFT project for a while, and we knew that we wanted to do NFTs.
Oh, interesting.
We just didn't know how we were going to approach, because again, NFT is Wild West. It's early sports, right? So there's still a lot getting figured out. And the only thing we knew about NFTs is that you have to do it right. You have to really add utility, really like have the right artists involved, and actually care about your project. And so we had been looking at NFTs. I bought my first NFT from Gary Vee like May of this year.
Yeah.
And that thing it taught me so much, the way Gary Vee's doing his community with V-Friends and whatnot, that it just motivated me. So we were learning and looking for an opportunity, but yeah, it wasn't until the animation team really brought everything to life and episode 1 was getting close to finalize, we're like, man, these artists worked so hard. And I think what clicked for me is we were looking at just like the intricate like amount of work that someone put into just a prop that was in there, just that boot. Like I remember the boot, the stinky boot was just like, we put so much work into making that look amazing. I'm like, and that's just a prop that's sitting in the ship, and like she grabs a treasure out of it. Like I wish people could appreciate how much time and energy our team spent on this boot, and we're like, there it is, that's the NFT project, and like let's share these people's art. And so that was really helpful because the NFT project gave us a way to share more of the art that we're doing, and also be able to fund the studio in a way. Like the people who have participated in our NFT prop with Quarter Machine, they're like helping like get the studio up and off the ground, and in return the studio is putting their NFTs in future projects and episodes, and they'll get licensing rewards, and then we're sending them all this stuff, and like it's just again this perfect symbiotic ecosystem. The Quarter Machine to the community, and the animation studio is really cool, and I think Quarter Machine NFTs have been a really nice part to that.
They have. And watching that unfold, the day you came to me, you said, I have a bomb to throw on you guys. But it's the kind of bomb that when it explodes, giggles come out.
Yeah.
And Colby was like, a root beer bomb? You're like, exactly. Root beer bomb. Let's write that down. But I had somebody, when Quarter Machine was launching, who came to me, who is in love with the NFT space, and they said, oh, I'm so glad that Shonduras is finally doing NFTs. I was wondering when he'd grab a couple $1 million or whatever through NFTs, and
we haven't grabbed a couple million, but
that was his phrase, and I was like, okay, wait, this is not a money grab, right?
Yeah.
This is really like about putting value into the community, and not just through the NFTs, but through other things coming up, that rewards for having bought those NFTs. Yeah. And we have that meta map. Is that what we're calling it?
The meta map, yeah. I think the way that a lot of people have approached NFTs and the way we're doing it as well is very similar to like a Kickstart campaign or something. You know, it's like if you believe in this animation studio and you like these cartoons and stuff, like here's some collectible pieces from the first cartoon. Like imagine if Toy Story, when Pixar started, had made a couple like NFTs of the lamp and of Woody and Buzz, and if you had those original NFTs that the animators had created when they created Toy Story, and that helped fund Pixar and get it up and going, then obviously Pixar's way bigger than us, and I'm not comparing, but that concept, like, this community that has purchased NFTs, they're helping us get up and running with this, and that's really cool, man.
Well, they're way bigger than us, but they also started in a zone, similar to ours, which is really cool. I think. I've been in a lot of studios, I've been in a lot of environments, and Space Station does have a unique vibe. It's one of the best places I've worked. And
heck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen those other studios. I think we have something cool going on.
You got something special, and it's going to keep going.
Yes. Next question. I have already been through all the questions. You were so good at covering this stuff. So
I can talk forever, no sweat.
No sweat. I would like to talk a bit more about this, the beginnings of Space Station.
Yeah.
For sure, because I know that story about you meeting up with Sean Holiday.
Yeah.
From Sean Holiday's perspective, it was really cool because I had a conversation with him about it, and he's just like, I had all these dreams that I wanted to happen in Space Station, but I had to be very slow and steady about them. Mm-hmm. Right? We had to take the first opportunity that worked through with what Sean had built, and build something with that, and then build something from there, and then there, and then it just starts to branch out, right? Yep. Can you talk more about that process and how it was? And
the most common problem, I guess you could say, we've had with Space Station is we see all these opportunities and we just want to take them. One of my favorite quotes that I've said myself, I'm quoting myself, is take every small opportunity and turn it into a big opportunity. And that's one of my favorite quotes because that's how the Space Station was built, right? It's like, I saw an opportunity within Snapchat and I turned it into a bigger opportunity to leverage that even bigger and build a community, and then saw the opportunity to try out esports, and it started out as streaming and then it slowly turned into Space Station Gaming. We saw an opportunity to help some of my friends with influencer marketing, right? As an influencer, I was working with brands like Taco Bell and Red Bull doing paid Snapchats and YouTube videos, right?
Yeah.
And then if Wendy's comes to me and says, hey, do you want to promote or talk about these new chicken fries and make a cool Snapchat story? It's like, oh, I'm actually like partnered with Taco Bell, and that would be a conflict, but let me introduce you to my buddy, and I would get him a thing. And so it was just a small opportunity to like start hooking up my friends with better deals. And then it was like, between me and Holly, we're like, why don't we just do this at a larger scale and help lots of creators build their brands? Because we're both creators, right? And the more that you can fuel your dreams, the more time and energy you can spend into them. And so our goal was to like fuel the dreams of creators around us so that they could quit their jobs and full-time create. And we've done that magnificently. I think over the past 4 years, we've helped 50 plus creators quit their jobs and just full-time be creators. And right now with Space Station integrations, we're doing about $2 million a month towards creators and brand deals and stuff. So that's really amazing to know that we're supporting my friends and people who are on the same path as me so that they can build and do, and then we help them make their own backpacks and lenses and projects. And it's just so amazing, man. So
and by creators, you mean people who are on YouTube? Or
people
on
who are on YouTube,
platforms?
on Instagram,
Twitch?
Streamers.
Yeah,
just anyone who's out there creating and they're trying to share a story with a community, and through that you can generate revenue through AdSense on YouTube, or you can partner with brands to tell their story, or you can sell merch or any of those different things. And so we basically enable creators to grow and create their brands. And so what Holiday was saying is like, before we could go help other people grow and create their brands, we really had to prove the model with Shonduras, right? And like I had to do those deals and really understand how to do them, and I had to speak, and I did my TED Talks and got my Forbes 30 under 30, and that's what kind of like validated us, is like, hey, we know how to take creators to the next level, let us help you take it to the next level, right? And then same thing with esports, and then same thing with investment space. Like we were able to invest in so many of these amazing companies because they've seen what we've done with Space Station, and we become strategic investors because like we want some of that magic. Like help us build more digital communities, help us like with this piece of it, or our content, whatever it is, right? And so then we can come in and actually help them tell their story better on digital and increase their digital footprint and community. And so now it's not just looking for things to put money in, we're strategic investors and we're adding value to everything we invest in. And so again, it started with Shonduras on Snapchat and doing YouTube and whatnot, and then it spread to us doing influencer marketing, helping other creators, doing esports and gaming, investing in other companies. We have the animation studio. We have just a whole slew of different things going on at Space. I'm not going to start listing because I'd probably miss a couple, but it's
you have the creative division, the creative team.
Every small opportunity, you just need to take it and turn it into a bigger one. So we have tons of small opportunities going on at the Space Station. NFTs and Core Machine, that's a small opportunity, and then it worked and it turned into a bigger one.
Yeah, it did.
With the animation studio, we've gone down the road with several other small opportunities, and then we hit pause because it wasn't the right time. Like we were going to focus on shorts, we were going to do educational kids content. Like
wrote some songs, right?
You created some incredible songs. Like our animation crew has created some really good content that we haven't even shared yet because like you just got to go down every road, take every small opportunity, and then really analyze, like, is the timing right on this, or what should you focus on? And that's been the magic of the Space Stations. We've gone down so many roads that you probably don't even know about. We created an esports footwear brand once called Feather Footwear. Yes, exactly. Like all this other stuff, and like I wouldn't necessarily even say we failed, which I'm okay to fail, and we have failed in certain things, but we're really good at going down the road and then just realigning or shifting our focus to somewhere else. Like you wouldn't say we failed at creating kids content as an animation studio. We just decided not to do it right now, right?
Oh yeah, the shorts?
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't fail. The songs are great. Someday
so we just
shifted
focus, and now we're going to double down on doing these A for Adley episodes because they're so fun and everyone's loving them. So I think that's it, is just keep experimenting, but never turn down a small opportunity. Here's the thing. I think too many people are looking for a big opportunity. They're waiting for their big break. They're waiting for their big project or whatever. And they're missing all the small opportunities because they're waiting for that big one. But really, you just take every small opportunity and see which one you can turn into a big one.
I love that. And also say, now's not the time for this thing.
Yeah.
Let's just shelve that. It might be of use someday.
Shelf on the shelf it.
Elf on the Shelf, exactly. Well, the space station is such an amazing place. I mean, a visit to the space station is kind of like a visit to a space station, right? It's not. It's something out of this world. You know, when I was again not looking for that opportunity. Yeah. Even the day before I came to the space station, I said I don't ever want to work for somebody else again. Which I'm technically more of a partner, right? But I come in the next day just to show what I was doing. You know, I was looking for that feature film, and it's a distant dream, right? Yeah. And you showed me what was going on. I was just like, there's no way I cannot engage with this thing. Yeah. You know? So you took the small opportunity. Now you've already turned it into a much bigger opportunity. And what you've created with Space Station Animation, what you've learned and all of the connections you've made and stuff and the credibility you've gained, and that's going to help you get to your bigger dream. And who knows what that timeline is or whatnot. But like, if you wouldn't have taken the small opportunity to help us out with Space Station Animation, we wouldn't be in the spot we're in, so thank you. Yeah. But also, I feel like you have learned quite a bit being here, and we've created something amazing together. I've told people over and over again that I am so glad I've learned a lot of these lessons on, you know, the small, scrappy shorts YouTube project, rather than a full feature film where there's more money on the line and, you know, that sort of thing. And also working with you again, the positivity, the ability to take things that could possibly turn out negative in other hands and make it positive. Let's care about this thing. Let's nurture this thing. Let's make it grow. It's been very inspiring. Ain't nobody got time to focus on the negative. That just slows you down. Like, it does slow you down. The amount of like hiccups or just like little fires we got to put out every day at the space station is tons. But if you focus on those, then it just is a bummer, right? So you just knock those out and focus on the good stuff, and it's really your perception, right? Whatever you're thinking about, that's going to be your attitude the rest of the day. So I just try and think about the good stuff and keep it going. You do. I even noticed when we were getting near the end of the quarter machine push, you know, I could tell you were tired. I could tell. Yeah, I'm tired right now. I'm always tired. I could tell that maybe there was a temptation, maybe less with you than others, to maybe be a bit negative and like needs time to decompress. But your whole approach to us, like, let's go play pickleball, you know? Yeah. And you opened the gym doors, ordered pizza, crumble cookies, and we all played pickleball, and it was just a good time, man. Yeah, it was wonderful. Mm-hmm. And I'm really lucky that I can diversify and shift around, right? It's not just like, I put all my eggs in the quarter machine basket and this has to work, or the animation studio. Like, when we focused on quarter machine, I went into what I call my quarter machine cocoon, and I just focused it heavy for like a couple months. But like, then I was able to come out of that and just like focus on other projects and work on other things. We have so many awesome things in the pipeline at Space Station. We just announced we have our new Halo skin, a Space Station Gaming Halo skin in the game. Like, so it's fun to be able to like play around with stuff like that and just get excited and then come back and solve problems and have that balance. And so that's just the benefit of being diverse in what you're doing. Got to keep those eggs in different baskets. And got to still continue being a professional fun haver. Yeah, as Gary Vee branded you. Yes, professional fun haver. That's my title. I've never considered myself, I don't even know what I am, a boss or a CEO or a executive or a president or whatever I'd be. I'm just a professional fun haver building a space station with a space station. A dude in a t-shirt, right? Yeah. We had our modeler Nick just put together this character, and he's like, this is Sean for episode so and such an episode, and he's like, it's just a dude in a t-shirt, and he's like, that's my mantra. That's what he said. Dude in a t-shirt. Yeah, I'm just a dude in a t-shirt. Yeah. Which is cool. It's cool. So my last question that we always end with is the Get Wiser moment. Yeah. And it's about my long-term goal, right, of telling deeply meaningful stories. Yeah. So if my goal is to get the greatest clarity of truth into a story, what approach would you recommend? The greatest clarity of truth? I don't, let's see here. This is the challenging question that I ask. This is why I ask it every episode. But. Yeah, I think you gotta, it's hard because you have to cater to what the audience wants to see, but you also have to like create a story that you authentically want to tell and believe in. And if if I'm forcing fun or doing any of that in my videos, it just doesn't turn out as good, right? But if I do what I know my kids and I actually want to do, that's why I use the example of the dinosaur park, because Nico loves to go there. Then like there's no planning and there's no shots or whatnot. It's just us genuinely having fun and going for it. So I guess in animation or anything else, like you just got to create what you want to create, and then it will turn out really good. You can't cater too much to what you think society wants or what will get views. Or I come from the social media world. I think so many social media influencers cater too much to the algorithm, right? It's like, it's really favoring shorts right now, or it's favoring, and you got to do that stuff strategically, but you can't change who you are to please an algorithm. You have to have integrity, right? Yeah. And then one of my favorite quotes from you as well, quote you now, is one day when we went to Pirate Island, I said, I really like how on social media you're not getting political or waxing religious or, you know, just like sharing all these opinions and stuff. And you said, yeah, we don't share opinions, just positivity.
Yep. That's it, man.
I loved that.
Yeah, I think there's so many people sharing so many opinions, and they're all different, and it's like anything. There's good and bad to any opinion, right? So we're just sharing positivity, and people come to just enjoy and watch us have a best day ever and feel part of it. Like, I think our family is a family for a lot of other families who are, especially during COVID, weren't able to hang out with friends and family and whatnot, or maybe their dad's gone right now, and so like it feels like hanging out with Shonduras is like hanging out with their dad, or maybe they don't have brothers and sisters, so watching Adley and Nico feels like the brothers and sisters. And in our videos, we try and give ideas for parents on things they can do with their kids' crafts and games. And when we make a mess, we always try and show ourselves, like on camera, cleaning it up. Like, okay, we're done. Let's clean up, and then we'll go do something else, and just kind of set the precedence of, you know, just good examples. Yeah.
Interesting. I really like your answer, and I want to kind of rephrase it and see what you think of it.
Yeah. I don't know if I understood the question very good.
No. So the greatest clarity of truth, I think, comes through your storytelling through a conversation with the audience. So you're having this conversation. Okay. You have your values and you have integrity toward those values. At the same time, you're interacting with that audience and finding out how to communicate that with them through fun. Yeah. Through having fun with your family. And that's what is of most value to you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Well, I got a question for you.
Okay.
What is the number one thing you've learned from being in the space station? What's your biggest takeaway from the past 4 months?
That's a tough question.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be the most, but just hit me with like what you've learned while you've been here.
Well, I could just start to list off things that I've learned.
Go for it.
One thing is, you know, my family started watching it for Adley, and all the time they're bringing the games over, and I'm like, "Hey, Dad, let's play this game. Let's play this game." And I have, you know, I think I've become a better father.
Heck
for sure.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
one of my main goals, is to remind parents that like you can play pretend with your kids. And like, here's a pro tip if anyone's a parent out there watching, like at times it's hard, like you're tired or you're busy or you have things on your mind, and it's hard to like play pretend and play with toys, right? Yeah. If you're not into it, it's hard, and the time goes slow and whatnot. So if you just get into it and actually play pretend, be like, I'm gonna get into this, and just like lean into it and have fun and use your imagination, it's more fun and the time goes by faster. So like, that's the secret. It's just like, if you have to clean your room or get homework done or anything else, like if you just do it and knock it out, it's easier and faster. If you're like, oh, lamenting it just takes forever. So same thing with being a parent and with kids, like just lean into like enjoying time with them, and it's more pleasant. Yeah. And I've also loved the power of positivity that I've learned from that. It's been a bit of a mistake. And I was in the startup Ogden building where I was interacting with other entrepreneurs, and that was a really great thing, and I learned a ton with them. I think I did still isolate myself a little bit too much. And I think when you spend too much time alone, you can start to let things get you down and start paying attention to the things that aren't positive. And I've loved that about the space station, where let's just make this positive. Yeah, we got a good crew of people, and there's always something good going on. And I can definitely see like this is a radical shift toward how my career has been so far. Yes, for sure. That's amazing. Well, that makes me happy. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, what's the last thing we want to tell these people? The last thing is, where's like the number one place you'd like people to engage with you online? MySpace. Oh yeah, MySpace. It's like the hip new trend, right? No, we have my social media is Shonduras on everything. It's like Honduras, the country with an S in front, because Sean went to Honduras, changed my life, came back, Shonduras, right? Yeah. But we've got our next animation episode coming out soon. So Spacestation Animation on YouTube. Scott and the team have been working super hard on this. It looks incredible. And then that'll be followed up by episode 3, 4, and 5, which are already in the works. In the works, yep. I think that's my biggest shout, is make sure you're following Space Station Animation on YouTube, and Scott, obviously, and keep an eye out for our next episode. Yeah. And until next time, I hope we all get a little wiser. Heck yeah. Thank you for watching the Directing Animation Livecast, hosted by Scott Wiser. Audio version edited by Kiera Horowitz. Copyright Scott Wiser LLC 2021.